last
Yeah,
NFL.
Gordon's actually good. That's not fair. That's not fair to attack Gordon Hayward. Can't let you do that.
Well, the last NFL agreement, that was a big thing because like the big stars didn't want to sign the agreement with the NFLPA because
it was trash.
Yeah, but then it let like all the normal. Well, I wouldn't say normal, but let's just say the lesser stars of the NFL to allow them to get paid because still the average career of an NFL player is still a year and a half at the most right now. I mean, and that's a lot of people. You only see 5-10% of people getting paid, and that's 32 quarterbacks for the most part, or those that are not in their rookie contracts at least. But now you got these big contracts being traded around. You got on the market now. You got Jared Goff. You got Carson Wentz out there. You got the quarterback in Matt Stafford in Detroit going out somewhere, which is going to be very interesting to see where he goes. But these big contracts now are being shifted around.
Yeah, and if you look at, if we're just being honest, you look at how Watson set up his contract, which was brilliant. He has a no trade clause. Like, somebody actually finally took the negotiating power away from teams to where I don't just have to be on a team for 8 to 10 years and keep getting franchised or get these deals.
He can lose like $50,000 a day every day he doesn't report.
Would you want to get sacked 80 times a year?
Tell that to Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon was never a top 10 running back, so that's not a good argument.
No, but it's a precedent for the notion that the players have leverage and that go for it.
Deshaun has leverage.
The Texans have nothing to play for, dog. Like outside of Deshaun,
so why would you play?
That's all they got to play for. So if Deshaun doesn't want to play, that just makes it easier for them to secure a number 1 pick, find the fuck out of him, or he retires. They get that $23 million back. Either way, the Texans win. They're playing with the house's money.
Not really. He's still in his prime. So you're going to eventually
exactly. So he's the one who's going to give up his prime. Tell it to Carson Palmer. Like, we've seen this shit over and over again, dog. Like, the players will never have the power. It's football. It goes against the culture of football, everything that you've ever been taught playing football. Like, that's not how it works.
It's a different fight, bro.
And not just that, but the cap is going down. It's expected to go down. It could go down as low as $175 million, which would be $25 million less. So that's just going to make these $20, $30 million cap hits harder to absorb.
Team friendly though. His deal is pretty team friendly. He gets the option. It's like really, he has like a 3-year contract. If we're being honest, like he's like, look, trade me, send me out of the division. I don't care. You're going to get a bunch of draft picks back anyway. It behooves you to do it. You got a new head coach. You might as well start over with somebody else because your receivers ain't shit. Brandon Cooks had 1,000 yards. I don't know how that happened. Like, let's be honest. It's better if they trade Deshaun, get rid of.
Kenny's gone.
Oh, Kenny's gone. It's all right though. He wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One thing to say with Deshaun Watson, wherever he goes, he's going to have a choice, and they're instantly going to be competitive wherever he lands. Even maybe the Jets. Who knows? That defense showed some stuff towards the end of the year, and then could you imagine if Miami traded back for him? Maybe they get some draft picks back for Deshaun Watson, which they're going to be using. Yeah,
that's a lot to just quit on Tua like that.
Yeah. But, who knows? It's going to be an interesting offseason with all the quarterbacks, all the big-name quarterbacks that are going to be available for some kind of signing of whatever. Who's really a free agent, big-time quarterback that's coming off this year? Not the ones that are being traded or asked to be traded, but actual free agent.
I think Jameis is the biggest one.
And he was a backup all year.
Yeah, but he got that eye surgery, which was supposed to improve his accuracy a lot. So, we'll see. But as to Watson's contract, I think right now he's making about $20 million. Hello, this is Pete.
Hey. So, I don't know what happened with that Zoom situation.
Yeah, I have no idea. Someone has started a new meeting with this account, so the other studio's probably using it.
Yeah.
Is he
The
out
irony. Yeah, it's all good. I'm actually calling in from the Good News Radio app, so if you haven't downloaded the Good News Radio app, you should definitely call in because it's actually very efficient and really dope.
Never worked for me, but we'll take your word for it. But yeah, man, back to Watson. Let me see real quick where he ranks as far as the top paid QBs, and he's only 26 years old, so he still has quite a few years left in his
Miami's
prime.
a great spot for him, if we're being honest, because Tua, that locker room don't trust Tua, and Tua obviously would probably be better off going to a different situation to where he could actually grow and develop and take hold of that offense, because it's not happening in Miami. They really don't have shit, if we're being honest.
So his average a year is $40 million a year, but it says his cap hit is $20 million, which is what, more than 20% of the cap.
Yeah, but with franchise QB, it's worth it.
Yeah, so this next year his cap number will be $15.9 million, and then after that it goes up to $40 million according to Over the Cap. Over the Cap and Spot Rack have different numbers on them on Watson, but he's basically the number 2 paid quarterback.
If we're being honest, the only reason why the caps are going down is because we're in a pandemic and a lot of revenue was lost this year from the NFL with ticket sales.
Yeah.
So that's why you're seeing a crunch. But if it was a normal season and everything was wide open, they wouldn't be talking about the salary cap. Like, that's a non-issue. And
so as of now, the teams with the most cap space are the Jags, the Colts, the Jets, the Patriots. Those are the only teams that, as of right now, could take on that sort of cap hit. Washington, Bengals, Buccaneers, and Dolphins are all kind of like in between the $20 to $40 million range. So they could do it with some work. And then after that, there's about 8 or 9 teams that are under the cap. And then there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's about 12 teams completely over the cap as of now. And we're not talking about when there's a decrease in the cap and then everything is over it. But yeah, as of right now, the over the cap is set at $176 million. So those that cap space number is based off if the salary cap goes to the floor, which is $175 million. Okay, he probably hit it with his cheek. Well, I guess the remote podcast thing was fun.
COVID 2021, man. It's just how life is right now. Even in the NFL, they're practicing via Zoom and everything. I wonder who pays for Zoom with the NFL. Is it the owner that pays for everybody's Zoom, and they're all millionaires? They can pay for their own, I guess.
But yeah, man, they don't have people. Imagine like getting in trouble for dropping off your position meeting on Zoom, like. Your Wi-Fi just cuts out and you get in trouble. Like you have to run extra laps.
That sucks.
Yeah,
and you have to run it on the treadmill instead. No.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh man, Be nice. I mean, it's nice actually. Now that you said it earlier, with like the Florida, at least it's a Florida team that's doing the Super Bowl. You could imagine the Super Bowl being nobody in there. I mean, what would they do? They do screens like the NBA, just have virtual and everything, but for thousands of more.
Well, my dad brought up the point, and he's like, like everybody, like nobody can say anything about the Lakers title because, they did the bubble. And yeah, they stopped the season. Hi, Izzy. Hold on, let me try to merge the call.
All right.
Kenny, are you here?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool, perfect. We got everything merged. All right, we're good. Golden. All right, so as I was saying, like my dad made this point of like, nobody can say anything about the NBA because, like, yeah, the season stopped, but then they started with the bubble. Everybody was equal. Nobody had fans. Everybody was on a neutral site, for the most part, except for the Magic. But, as equal as they could have made it. Versus, like, the NFL, some teams had fans. Some teams didn't. Games got canceled. Games got postponed. So it was just all over the place.
No games got canceled.
Well, yeah, no games got canceled. They got postponed, moved. But yeah, so it's like even watching these playoffs, like I don't think it's really a coincidence that the four teams that were left all were teams that have fans.
Yeah,
like for a large chunk of the end of the season at least. And the Chiefs had fans, I think, really the whole season.
They've had fans the whole season.
Yeah, they had fans the whole season. So.
Yeah, I go think about it.
It's also based off the states. Florida, wide open state. Missouri, wide open state.
Well, New York wasn't, though. New York didn't really open up until the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
The Buffaloes, I mean, I was rooting for Buffalo, man, to be honest.
New York don't count Buffalo. We can't.
You could say New York, Canada. It's still up there.
New Yorkers consider Buffalo to just be like southern Canada. They don't
it's the south of Canada, to be honest. That's a good way to put it. Or jumping through those.
They don't even.
Hey, you know what?
They don't claim.
I would like after the maybe next season or sometime to go to a tailgate in Buffalo. Maybe the warmer months, but.
Honestly, I went to one in Oakland, and I've actually saw the Bills, I think, twice in Oakland for whatever reason. But both times they were like really they were like good fans. Like they're passionate, they're respectful, like they were,
and they like to break tables with each other.
Yeah, they like to drink, they like to eat.
Some professional wrestling in the parking lot, but they're all cool with each other. That's I would like to see that. You come to an LA game and it's a bunch of Mexicans fighting each other.
I mean, I hate to tell you, Eric, but that's pretty much anywhere you go in LA.
That is true.
Either Mexicans fighting each other, or blacks fighting each other, or Mexicans fighting blacks, and blacks fighting Mexicans, or the police shooting someone.
Like that one white boy says the N-word, and everybody goes, "What?" And then
Yeah, and then the chaos happens.
But
or somebody breaks out the weed and everybody just has a good time.
That is true.
But yeah, so other thing we mentioned with the QB carousel that's currently happening, Matt Stafford. There was reports this week that over a third of the league has already reached out to the Lions, inquired about a trade for Stafford. I think Stafford has 2 years left on his deal or 3 years left on his deal. None of them are guaranteed, and I also think he's owed about, I want to say like $30 million off the top of my head. But yeah, so the Lions could easily cut him, but since there's a lot of interest, I'm sure that they won't. I'm sure they'll try to net a first-round pick for him. I don't know if Stafford is worth a first-round pick, but then again, I also don't know a lot about the QB class this year. From everything that I've read, it's really kind of all over the place. There's a bunch of guys that they think could go in the first round for different reasons, just kind of based off how everything shakes out. But Yeah, Kenny, what do you make? Is Stafford worth a first round pick in this year's draft at least?
Nah.
So you don't think he's better? You think there's quarterbacks out there that are better than Stafford that are coming out from the draft?
No, that's not the issue. But